Another week, another round of launching of developmental projects across the FCT. We'll bring you all those details in our focus on the FCT, especially this particular water project in the Bwari Area Council. Town planner Nathaniel Atebije joins us today on the program, the former president of the National Institute of Town Planners of Nigeria, to talk about town planning in the FCT, what kind of collaborations are going on, and what the FCT minister needs to do differently so we can put development on the same path as human capital development. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. The president is still out of the country, first in Japan, where he asked for Africa to have 2 permanent seats in the UN Security Council, and now in Brazil, where he's going to be representing Nigeria's interests as well. All these and more this week on our Abuja Wrap.
President Bola Tinubu has congratulated all the winners of the Saturday, August 16 by-elections in 16 constituencies across 12 states. The President also commended the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for the hitch-free elections, mostly devoid of violence. Following the results declared by INEC, the All Progressives Congress, APC, won in 12 constituencies. The All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, won in 2. The People's Democratic Party, the PDP, won in 1 constituency, and the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, won in 1 constituency. According to the statement by the President's Special Advisor on Information Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu also congratulated the new APC National Chairman, Professor Nantawi Yelwalda, for the emphatic first victory recorded under his leadership. He also congratulated the APC governors and other leaders on the success of the by-elections. President Tinubu commended all the political parties and candidates who participated in the election and enjoined them to continue to be guided by the spirit of sportsmanship, fair contest, and magnanimity, which are enablers of enduring democracy. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Tokyo, Japan, for the first leg of his 2-nation trip, which is to end in Brazil. The President arrived at 1 a.m. local time from Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, where he had stopped over following his departure from Nigeria on Friday. President Tinubu is in Japan to attend the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development in the city of Yokohama from the 20th of August. With the theme, Co-Create Innovative Solutions with Africa, the conference will focus on Africa's economic transformation and improvements in the business environment and institutions through private investment and innovation. In addition to attending plenary sessions on themes linked to the conference, the Nigerian president will hold bilateral meetings and meet the chief executive officers of some Japanese companies with investments in Nigeria. At the end of the conference, President Tinubu is to proceed to the Republic of Brazil on a 2-day state visit from Sunday the 24th of August to Monday the 25th of August.
You can be assured Nigeria will meet all your expectations. The changes that we embark upon is all about us as a people and leadership of Africa. Don't take it lightly. I'm glad about the diversity of the background that we have, the seriousness, and being focused on innovation, 21st century adaptation, and being a very good citizen. Your citizenship is in your passport. Your person is your character. And I'm very, very happy that no negative feedback since we got here. I'm happy to listen to you for whatever. Happy to report to you that many of our people are coming back home. Yes, for economic reasons, some people might decide to stay away. It's fundamental right of individual. But for the economic growth and opportunity that is available in Nigeria, don't stay away. Your contribution is very much in need.
President Bola Tinubu has called on the Japanese government to support the campaign for reforms in the United Nations organs, especially the United Nations Security Council, to give African countries a greater voice. The president pointed out that Africa deserves 2 seats in the permanent category with all its prerogatives and privileges, and additional seats in the non-permanent seat category of the Security Council. President Tinubu made the remarks in the plenary session on peace and stability at the 9th meeting of the Tokyo International Conference for African Development. According to the statement released by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the president also appealed for market-driven cooperation and partnerships across nations rather than the appeals for aid and handouts. The Japanese Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba, emphasized the importance of mutual understanding, local solutions, and collaborative efforts for Africa's development. The Prime Minister outlined Japan's focus on private sector-led sustainable growth, youth and women empowerment, and regional integration. Prime Minister Ishiba announced collaborative economic framework between Japan and the African Development Bank that will see a maximum of $5.5 billion disbursed to Africa utilizing the Japan International Cooperative Agency private sector investment finance as a catalyst. Aggrieved indigenous contractors who allegedly executed projects for the federal government are demanding immediate payment for all completed projects since 2024. The contractors maintain that the government has refused to meet its obligations to them, even though most of the projects have been completed and commissioned by the government. Meanwhile, the Minister of Finance says the federal government has paid all outstanding debt for the year 2024.
In the last quarter, we did pay 2 contractors over 2 trillion to settle outstanding capital budget obligations, and that was from last year. And so we, as a moment, have no pending obligations that are not being processed and financed.
Welcome back. In our focus on the FCT, another set of projects. And this one, it's water, and it's got to do with the people of Bwari. Please take a look. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, his political associates, traditional rulers, and senior officials of the FCT administration are here for the official flag-off of the Bwari Township Water Supply Project. The project, when completed, will provide potable water to residents of Bwari and adjoining communities.
The Abuja Water Master Plan provides for the impoundment of raw water at the Lower Usman Dam, which is augmented by the Gurara Water Transfer Scheme at periods of low water levels. The raw water is processed at the treatment plants and then transmitted through series of pipelines to water storage tanks, which are strategically located on the fringes of the city. The city is then fed from the various tanks through pipelines to supply districts, which are called loops. Recently, the Greater Abuja Water Supply Project was commissioned, providing the required water supply network loops. But it's also necessary to enhance the potable water supply to these tanks, to these water lines. Your Excellency, the combined capacity of the Lower Usman Dam treatment plants, that is the phase 1, 2, 3, and 4 plants, is 30,000 cubic meters per hour.
In her remarks, the Minister of State for the FCT underscores the importance of the project.
This is an effort for us to provide a sustainable access to clean, potable, and safe water for the residents of FCT. On behalf of His Excellency Barrister Wike, the people of FCT and also good people of FCT in general, I want to express our gratitude to His Excellency, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Asiwaju for his unwavering support to infrastructure renewal and also prioritizing the critical projects that directly benefit and touch the people of our FCT and the nation at large. As the saying goes, thousands have survived without love, but none has survived without water. So water is life. So let us work together. Let us maintain this vital project, vital infrastructure together, and make sure we make it useful for the next generation to come and benefit from it.
For the FCT minister, the project is a promise kept, and he wants the residents to reciprocate the gesture when election time comes.
This project, rehabilitation of Phase 2, was awarded in 2022 to the tune of not less than 50 billion naira. Was awarded before the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board, before we were appointed as ministers. But by the New Hope agenda of Mr. President, the directive was given that water is life, water is an essential service that we must have to carry out to the residents of Abuja. And this Phase 2, very important because it will increase the carrying capacity and of course will improve water supply to the residents of Abuja. To underscore the importance of what Mr. President holds, Phase 1, Phase 3, and Phase 4 have been awarded by the Federal Radio Council sometimes 1 month ago. And that, of course, will improve water supply throughout Abuja. Again, this shows our unflinching support for basic infrastructure. So many people have accused us that we're only concentrating on roads, even though that's the critical focus. But to let you know that we're also focusing on other essential things of life. September last year, Mr. President traveled to China and we signed an agreement with CGC to provide water for the satellite towns. I want to announce here that Mr. President will approve, and by tomorrow we'll start the flag off of one of the satellite water towns in Bwari. And on Thursday we'll be in Karo. Also for supply of water to satellite towns that is costing the government not less than 90 billion naira. All this is geared to make life easier for the people of the FCT. We are not concentrating in the development of the city. We are taking development to the satellite towns. I have told the Mandate Secretary of Education, to release the number of schools in the entire FCT under the Bola Tinubu administration that we have completed renovations and the ongoing ones. I believe by the time that list is released, Nigerians will know what we have done in the education sector. And
with the speeches over, the minister proceeds to flag off the project.
In the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
This symbolic flag-off exercise marks the beginning of a journey to providing portable water to rural communities in Bwari Area Council in the nation's capital. Town planner Nathaniel Atebije joins us tonight on Dateline Abuja to talk a little bit about town planning in the FCT, where we planned to be and where we are right now. And he's asking that there be more collaboration, saying that the buy-in of the people of the FCT needs to be front and center. And he would know, being the former president of the National Institute of Town Planners of Nigeria. Town Planner Nathaniel Atebije, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thanks very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here.
What does a town planner do?
The job of the town planner is to look at human settlements. Now, human settlements is just like a human being also. It is a system. It has, it has to be born, it has to be developed, it has to grow, and if it is not grown properly, it can also decay and die. Therefore, what we do as town planners is to prepare, plans that will guide the development, the physical development of the settlements. And when physical development is properly organized, it will also affect the social development and economic development. Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about the town planning for the FCT and how the FCT authorities, in your view, are using the plan for the FCT to better the lives of the people who live here.
Usually, in fast-growing economies like ours, we would normally want to revise plans every 5 years. And that is even provided for in the master plan for Abuja. But unfortunately, this is not actually being followed because by now, Abuja has been overdue for revision and re-revision so many times, but this has not been done. Yes, to some extent, some people say that they are doing some level of revision of Abuja master plan, but from experience, from observations, the thing we have seen so far is that somebody might just sit down in one corner and change the land use. That is not a revision of master plan. The master plan is a public document. Now, whenever you want to, according to principles and according to standard operational measures, what you do is you also get the people involved. Because one thing about planning is that it is a democratic process. And so nice that we are in democracy. But painfully, I think, from my observations, from the things I have seen so far, whatsoever changes in land use that have been made and whatsoever reviews they have made in terms of the master plan for Abuja, they have not received public participation. And therefore, it looks like dictatorship in terms of how we manage Abuja. And that is not good for the growth of the city, because today it might look like we are exerting force, exerting power, exercising, the power that we have, though power should be known to be transient, and that is how life is.
So we hear what you're saying, but I want to be able to bring a different perspective.
Okay.
So with the FCT administration, it does feel like they have had to deal with errant developers. So a lot of the land that is being used in the FCT are not necessarily being used for what they were allocated for. And we've seen these things happen over the years. So you have to understand where many people feel, well, yeah, we get it. It does feel like a dictatorship. It does feel like the buy-in of the people is not, there's no town hall meeting that is going on to get the buy-in of the people. But the errant developers and what we've had to deal with, building on floodplains, turning parks into places that are supposed to be open to the public. They build houses on the place. We even, of course, we talked about the place recently in Wuse that is a regular place people go to eat, and then the FCT authorities are telling us that no, there were criminal hideouts in that place. And then this insecurity in the FCT as well. You can't walk, you can't ride your bicycle, you can't do anything. Anywhere you go, you have to be very worried that people who are carrying babambola might attack you on the street. So a lot of these things necessitated the kind of hard response we're getting from the FCT authorities. What do you think about that?
I have no sympathy for errant developers.
Okay.
No sympathy. I have zero tolerance for them because they distort the purpose of the city. But however, you see, when these things come in, it's just because we are not even doing the right thing. Number one, let me tell you, for the city to develop properly, There are processes. Now, if land is allocated, let it be properly used. Who are the people that are involved in the changing of land uses? Like I told you, if the change of land use is actually authorized, there are so many things we take into consideration: safety, security, traffic, compatibility with other land uses. But because there is no official way of, not really official, but there is no streamlined way of handling these things. That is why you see some of these illegalities. Now, for example, let's also look at it. Yes, private people are changing land uses illegally. But even the public is also involved. Government is also involved in changing land uses. Let me tell you, when Abuja was developed, it was developed to be, when it was conceived to be a garden city. 33% of the land for green areas.
Green area, yeah.
But what percentage do we have today? They are being nicknamed, called some other names, land banks. Yes, there is provision for land banks in planning. But for God's sake, the places that are not supposed to be exposed, these are the things that are causing, they are the factors, responsible for the challenges of climate change that we have today. So, if we are seeing private developers changing land uses without authorization, the government should also make sure that even when they want to take such actions, changing land uses in Abuja without due process is incorrect.
As we wrap up, because we are running out of time, from the town planner's lenses, from the town planner's point of view, how do you view the development in the FCT? Because everyone calls the FCT minister Mr. Project. There's always something being launched every week, almost every day. There's something going on. How would you assess his developmental drive in the FCT vis-a-vis human capital development? And then also just your thoughts really on where we're going to. What should they be doing? Do they work closely with town planners? You know, what's the plan for engaging people like yourself and people like the Town Planners Association of Nigeria and the work that they do? Yeah,
thank you. I give it to the minister, Mr. Projects. Yes, he's Mr. Projects. He's doing a lot in terms of the development of infrastructure. But you see, what we still want to ask for is that we must properly review the master plan for Abuja. I'm not thinking about today. We're thinking about the future. There is a generation that is coming after us, and we must prepare for them. If not, they will crucify us. Posterity will not even forgive us if we do not do what we are supposed to do.
What are we not doing?
Now, number one, I've said that in terms of organizing the environment, the master plan must be reviewed. Now, for Abuja to work efficiently, thank God that most of these things have been done by the private sector in terms of contractual agreements and so on and so forth. But let there be a proper organization of what should be done. The review of the master plan is critical. Now, Abuja has not actually domesticated the Nigerian urban and regional planning law, which is very, very important. And so, if you look at the planning agencies, they are scattered everywhere. Part of it in FCDA, part of it in AMMC, and so on and so forth. So there is no, coordination per se. You go to Aegis, they change land use at will. I stand to be controverted. They change land use at will. The people who are in the system, with all due respect, well, they are bound by the code of conduct or by the issues of civil service. They must have to obey their superiors. But when I was in service, some critical developments, we have public hearing for it. We bring it to invite professionals from outside the civil service, and they help you to assess it, and we give you qualitative advice. When last did we do that in the city? So these things are very, very critical for us to work with. And naturally, the way it is done, infrastructure should normally be given, should be installed before developments. But here, we are installing infrastructure after development. That is what I used to call development by destruction syndrome, because what you have developed, you have to pull out some things again so that you'll be able to install the infrastructure. That is what is even causing flooding and some of the environmental problems that we have around us today. So let the minister and all the people who are around him engage professionals outside and the public. Let us, because this city belongs to all of us, let us decide how we want our city to grow. And you will discover that Abuja will grow to be a prosperous, a beautiful city, and a city of the future that will be a joy, not only to Nigerians, but to the world.
I want to thank you very much for making out the time to be with us. Our greetings to everyone at the association, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.